First principles, Clarice. Simplicity. Read Marcus Aurelius. Of each particular thing, ask, what is it in itself? What is its nature? What does he do, this man you see?
You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
That is incidental. What is the first and principal thing he does? What needs does he serve by killing?
Anger. Social acceptance and sexual frustrations.
No, he covets. That is his nature. And how do we begin to covet, Clarice? Do we seek out things to covet? Make an effort to answer now.
No.
Now, we begin by coveting what we see every day. Don't you feel eyes moving over your body, Clarice? And don't your eyes seek out the things you want?
All right, yes.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, a strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, this is Walter on iWalter. It's actually the latest I've ever done a show. It's 20 of 5 now. It's Wednesday morning, August 12th, 2015. Yeah, why did I get a late start? Well, I actually bought this movie on Amazon. A friend had he kind of said he liked it. He didn't recommend it. But he talked about it so much, and, it's all right if he liked it. I just figure I'll give it a shot. Even though he did admit it got really bad reviews. And it had taken, I think, 3 years to make the film. And let me see. Got it over here. Movie 43. Basically, he told me, my friend Matt actually told me before he even watched, and he gave me the heads up on this film, that it was so bad they actually had to trick, people to making that film. Movie 43. They had to trick the actors to actually go and convince them to make the film. And I forget who it was. One of the actors actually refused so much. He didn't want to do it at all. And they finally came down to, okay, we're built the studio for what we want you to do at your house. And then he agreed to do it. So, yeah, this movie had taken forever to make. And I thought it was not entertaining at all. I thought it was really bad, but that is just my opinion, because I'm sure there's other people besides my one friend Matt who likes that film. I really do think that. But Matt, you got to stop picking on me about that film. Even not that you do. I got to throw a dig though on that film that I liked years ago, because I kind of fucked up about talking about it. Was this movie called? Oh God, what was it called? It was a vampire movie. Matt, you know what I mean, though, because I'm drawing a blank. Maybe it was that bad, because I can't even remember the name. Okay, it's not letting me quit, so sorry about that. I was trying to shut down a program. Interviews with a Vampire. Yeah, that movie, surprisingly, it was another guy who liked it, and Matt's not too fond of him anymore. This guy named Rich, my friend Rich, because he also really liked that film. But, we obviously, me and Matt have difference of opinion on politics, and my friend Rich does, so that was the end of the story there. Anyway, I'll just let you know right now, it's extremely hot in my room right now. This is why I went on the spending spree again. Because I did everything to my computer I can, because I do, lately I've just been doing audio podcasts, but I also in the past did some video editing. So I bought all this, this Mac computer, souped it up. And now I souped it to the point, because it is an older machine, that it runs extremely hot. I mean, you could basically get probably a suntan in my room, or at least gets cooked to death. It feels like you're in an oven. when I do any type of audio broadcast or, recordings or anything else. It's a really good computer. It's actually fairly decent. Certain programs are a little sluggish and stuff because it updates on Apple software, and they do that to make you buy their newer stuff. Now, their newest computer, though, is anywhere I'm looking now. It was, well, not this moment, but I was looking tonight, and it was like the cheapest computer starts at $3,000, and everybody was even complaining in articles. It's like, yeah, the new computers are just god awful expensive. They go from $3,000 to like $12,000, and it's like that's more than my car cost me. And I have a very nice car. I have a Volkswagen Tiguan 2012, pre-owned, but I'll pay that much money for a car, but I'm not going to pay that much. Actually, the car was I got them down to $9,000 when I bought it. Of course, then they told me to buy all these extended warranties, which I did. If I didn't, I would have still been at the $9,000 mark. That's not important, though, folks. The thing is, I'm not going to buy. I'll buy a car for $12,000. I am not going to buy a computer for $12,000. So I was looking around and I was seeing where the sweet spot is for what I want to do, which is audio and video production work. On my own at my own pace. And also, I was looking for something that would run less hot. Now, right now, I'm running old DDR2, which it was good. Problem is the DDR2 ran extremely hot, so they put heat spreaders on the RAM sticks. So you ever buy DDR2, it actually came down. You can find certain places where you can buy tons of DDR2 really cheap. For a while there, it was like as much as my computer costs just to buy a couple gigs of RAM. Now I found a place, the RAM runs fine. I'm running 24 gigs of RAM. It just runs like an oven. And so does the rest of the computer. So I could take the RAM out, but I'm going to go back to not be able to open as many programs, or just not going to run maybe as well smoothly, which at this point they're not running that great anyway. So anyhow, I looked in and I looked around and was like, okay, the last of the Mac Pros that were inexpensive but were really well built, you can actually upgrade them. They made them easier to work on. My computer was actually not too bad. It was a little bit of work. I had my dad help me put a Blu-ray player in there in case anybody's interested, because I'm going to actually, once I get my new computer, I got to get rid of this. And I did soup it up. It's got 24 gigs of RAM. I'm going to take the hard drives out. I bought a very top-of-the-line modded firmware graphics card, video card for this. It was a GeForce. It's like the step below the grandiose one, which is over $1,000. I didn't pay even nearly close to that, trust me. But I got a good deal. It was modded, the graphics card. So that's in there, too. It's got a Blu-ray player. And I looked at what I'll get for this if I try to trade it in. I'll get like $150, which I want more than that because it's worth more to that for the money I put into it over the years. So anyway, what's the difference? Why did I waste my money on another Mac? Well, they're going to look almost the same, but underneath the hood, there is big differences. A shrunken die that runs at a much higher processor speed, 6-core as opposed to 4-core. It's only going to have 8 gigs of RAM, but if I ever wanted to expand my memory, I can go up to 120 gigs. This stops at 32. So that it's got a lot more headroom. 128 gigs of RAM can go into the new machine I just purchased. And also, another great thing is the RAM does not run as hot, and neither does the processor, the CPU, because it's a smaller die. It's like 32 nanometer as opposed to what I have now. Probably, I would assume it's almost like double that size. Makes a big difference, trust me. It basically, with a smaller die on your CPU, your processor, it may or may not decrease the temperature, but it definitely decreases the amount of voltage it needs to run it. So yes, that does make it run cooler, just that alone. The newer system will have 8 gigs of RAM that is DDR3, which does not need heat spreaders because it doesn't run as hot as DDR2 always did. So there was a quick jump from DDR2 as far as I'm concerned to 3. They are actually up to DDR5, but no computers actually run it that I know of, unless it's on a video card. Because after a while, all you're basically doing with DDR by changing the numbers from 1 to 2, DDR2 to DDR3, and up, after 3, as far as I'm concerned, you're basically changing the speed of the DDR. It's actually not a drastic change otherwise, I don't think. So, the next step up would be, it looks like a trash bin, basically, the new monolithic trash can, or the new Mac Pros, which are very nice because everything is solid state, but I can't afford, like I said, $12,000 for a computer. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, you're probably going to ask, maybe you're not, I seriously doubt it, but if you're interested, anyone, please just send me a line. You can find me on Facebook at walter.interante. Well, actually, you can just email me at walter.interante, that's what I meant to say, at verizon.net. And just please let me know if you're interested. You're going to have to pay for the shipping, which is going to be pretty hefty because the thing weighs about, I think, 38 pounds. Probably more from the stuff I put in there. I will promise you, though, I won't charge you that much, maybe a few $100s, not a few grand, but definitely a few hundred. And again, just let me know, or just check me out on the Facebook. You can actually email me or just text me there probably. So anyway, I want to get back to, I'm going to be short tonight because I want to be done before 5 o'clock. Means this episode is going to be shorter. Anyway, yes, I did pull because it does remind me of work. Again, I think there are some men and women that would agree with me that, for one thing, that we got some people that are just beyond promiscuous. Did I say that word right? Matt will hopefully let me know. I think I did. So what do I mean by that? Well, we got women that just, in particular at my building and throughout plants, throughout the plant site, there's women that are exactly the same. But we got like less than a handful at this point. Maybe we have a handful that basically just have no respect for themselves, and probably not anybody else if they don't have it for themselves. I can't imagine they would have it for anybody else. But yeah, they are a little bit on the loosey-goosey side, the best way to put it. I think Matt might find that funny that I said that, I hope. I forgot about this movie. I wanted to see this. Sorry about that. I'm looking at somebody's webpage, and I have the movie called Unfriended. Yeah, it's probably really bad. Anyway, here I go, going off on a side tangent again. But yeah, what was I going to say? The one girl today she had on her super tight spandex that was so tight, and she doesn't have any panty lines, so obviously she's wearing a thong underneath, and that's definitely a no-no, very inappropriate for work, just to let her know. But she didn't expect to see me. I didn't expect not to see her because, honestly, I was told at the last minute, hey, you have a meeting today, don't you know? And it was like, no, I didn't know. So I ran to this meeting I was supposed to go to. And lo and behold, though, I got back down, and then from this meeting, it was on, we have four floors to this one building. 3 floors. 3 floors to this one building I work at. And what was I going to say? Yeah, there was 3 floors to the building, and didn't know I had a meeting. So what ended up happening was I go to the meeting. I come back from that was on the 3rd floor, by the way. I didn't say that, but I am now. It was on the 3rd floor, so I came back from the meeting and ran down. And this one girl who had the super tight spandex on, I wouldn't even have known she was there because she kind of avoids meetings now just so she won't, she tries to avoid me, and she makes it so obvious. Something you're not supposed to do. You got to go. We have now the meeting. I should clarify myself, by the way. I didn't do it again. The meeting I had to go to was separate from the meetings we have that basically account for everybody being at the job. So basically it must have been mentioned that, Walter is not going to be there today. So she showed up to our, this is the end of shift, start a shift meeting. The meeting I had to go to was for something totally different. So I got down and I almost bumped into this girl, and it was like, she actually held the door for me, which I appreciated, but she won't show up to our, change of shift meetings when she knows I'm there. And she makes it kind of obvious. She'll even come late And if she sees me, she quickly puts on her uniform to cover up what she's wearing. She I'll have something to say about it. So anyway, she didn't expect to see me. I almost ran right into her, and I swear, if I would have knocked her over, I think her spandex would have flew across the room like a rubber band because it was on so freaking tight it wasn't even funny. And it's like, okay, but I'm the bad guy, because I'm making face value of this. Other people say I just make too much out of it. It's like, well, I'm a guy. Guys do look at women, and if women are wearing completely provocative clothes, it's definitely going to catch your attention, and it just basically distracts me for the rest of the night after she leaves. I mean, here's a funny story, and this is no joke. I remember being at Montgomery County Community College years ago, and I normally don't speak up until it gets to be so much of a distraction. I will say something, and that's not in my nature, trust me. Because that's why I don't have a girlfriend, and probably really never did, and never will. Because I usually don't speak up when it comes to women. I just, like a friend, Matt, will say, we kind of just clamber up. So anyway, I mentioned about Monco College now, and what happened there was, one time I had this class, I remember it was my professor for English, Dr. Curtis Herr, or no, not doctor. He was not a doctor. Professor Curtis Herr, sorry about that. And I had taken him for a couple classes because the dude was like really cool. He was like one of my favorite professors. I loved English because of him. He really got me interested, so I had taken more classes with him. So anyway, this one girl that was in my class, she was a really nice girl, and she sat next to me all the time. I never said a word to her. Never said a word to her. So the one time she comes in, and I don't know if they still make these, because this was like 20 years ago, folks. But she had, she was sucking on, literally, I'm not even trying to be funny, she was sucking on a liquid lollipop. And it was like, it looked like something else, because it had a bulbous top to the lollipop. It was like in a tube, and it looked like, well, maybe I should just say, it looked like a penis head. And it got me so bothered and so excited that it was like, I told her, I couldn't believe I said it, honestly. And ever since after what I'm going to tell you I said, she really had liked me for the rest of that semester. It was like, listen, I felt really bad for like just blurting it out, but it was such a distraction, I couldn't help it. But she really got a kick out of it. I basically told this girl, trust me, I don't even remember her name. She's a really cute girl, though. I said to her, can you stop sucking on that liquid lollipop? Like, I literally yelled at her almost. Not in a bad way, but I just yelled at her because it was like, I think I even told her, I said, you're really distracting me. And she kind of got the hint that I was like bothered in a good way, but not cool for when you're in a college class. So she loved me for saying that. I said, listen, can you please put that thing away? And she loved me for saying that. But how does this fit into this girl? Well, trust me, it kind of does, because when a girl is dressing provocatively, what that girl did, she at my college class, she didn't mean anything by it. It just really bothered me. I was so distracted by her sucking on that lollipop. And I don't need to explain that, I hope, that I basically had to tell her, listen, you're really distracting me. And she got a kick out of it. But you know what? She was a good sport about it. She knows I didn't mean anything harmful about it. But I'm not going to go up to this girl who wears this extremely tight spandex and say, listen, can you just stop wearing that? Because even if you try to cover it up, you shouldn't even have it at work whatsoever. Is it going to get to that point? I guess probably not. Because, you know what, for one thing, it'll be a problem with me that I need to be more responsible for. But in all honesty, she's not supposed to be dressed in that way at all. That is inappropriate for work. So if she doesn't come in with that, do you think I would give her the time of day? Probably, most likely, no. So it's just, she is looking for attention for some reason. Hey, if you want to get somebody's attention, there is much better ways, and the best way to do it is not draw attention to yourself. Sorry, I had to get some soda because this is early in the morning, just to keep myself awake, which now I won't sleep. I need all the caffeine I can actually get. Wow. Sorry. Hot picture. Got to put it on my Facebook page. These girls in lingerie. They got tattoos, but that's okay. Trust me. If you've seen them, you would kind of forgive them too. So anyway, yeah, long story short, it would be best, is it going to get to the point, though, where I work, at this pharmaceutical company? They're going to say, listen, we're going to have to give you uniforms or dress codes even just to come to work because obviously you're not following them. And I certainly hope it doesn't come down to that because we're a professional place, but obviously people don't know what that word means. So, yeah, that was issue number one. Another issue I actually mentioned to a friend tonight was this one woman at work. She's like the age of my friend. She's like in her late 50s, I assume. You can't tell because she looks, honestly, this older woman, not my friend, not saying she doesn't, nothing against my friend. She's attractive. But this older woman, she's, honestly, for an older woman, she's, you can't tell because I send a link to her Facebook page, and she looks all right. But honestly, when I see her, this lady at work, she's really hot. Well, this lady that's kind of hot, well, not really hot. She's just really hot. Okay, I just repeated myself. Never mind. I'm not going to get it out properly. She's got a nice body. She's got a decent face, and you can't tell her age. Well, this woman's got a reputation that follows her back for years when I first started working almost. And I was in a different department where I really did do janitorial work and not glorified janitorial work. Well, her reputation follows her throughout the plant site, probably until the day she'll probably end up quitting because her reputation was she was literally found with her pants down and basically having sex with some guy. And this reputation is going to follow her because before she even came over, it was already there. Not amongst a few of us that knew this woman from years past. Now, honestly, I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it and say, I find that repulsive. Hey, if I had a chance with this lady, I probably would do the same thing. But she literally got caught with this guy's penis in her in her hey nanny nanny, and it was she got in a lot of trouble for it, and neither one of them got fired. I'm surprised, but she's been there for as long as longer than I have. So anyway, what does this happen to do with anything? Well, she kind of comes off of this chip on her shoulder too, for an older woman, and hey, you know what? There's a lot of people there I have a lot of respect for, a lot of bosses I have respect for. And I'm not saying I don't have respect. And like I said, if I had a chance, I would probably definitely, what is this slang for that? I would tap that shit, yo. Most people would say, well, she's not that great looking. Maybe I just have a really plain Jane, what do you call it, for women that are not that attractive, because apparently this other girl who wears extremely tight spandex, two people, both my friends outside of work, said that she's not that attractive at all. She's okay looking, but she's not like the way I build her up to be. It's like, well, you don't see her at work wearing this super tight spandex. Now, I did kind of give the people, like they saw her pictures and they said, yeah, she's got a big hiney too. One friend said that he thought you could tell by her pictures she's got a big butt, a bubble butt. So he found that even less attractive. Sorry, I'm like posting like some really ridiculous pictures of what I think is kind of cool for women. And most people are find these unattractive. So you can get an idea of what I consider attractive or unattractive. Anyway, what was I going to tell you about this? So, this woman, though, she has a reputation that goes back again. Oh, excuse me about that, folks. Yeah, I actually burped on my radio show at 5 o'clock in the morning now. Jesus. There's certain things you don't talk about on radio. Or do on radio. Oh, my God. Picture emerges of a terrifying 6-meter Metri shark off. This thing's like, I think it's like a mega shark. Not a megalodon, but a mega shark. Photos of enormous tiger shark corpse has startled to circulate in social media, with some claiming it was pulled out of the water in northern. Yeah, you won't want to be face to face. It's a tiger shark, but it's bigger than even a big great white. This thing is like humongous. Yeah, it's bigger than the boat almost. I'm not even kidding, folks. Oh my God, this thing is like really viciously scary. Ooh. I mean, it could probably eat my house. It's like, oh, I'm exaggerating, I admit, but it's huge. It's humongous. There's a movie called that, too. But anyway, back to this woman. Oh, actually, I'm going to read this real quick. I just got to go, hey, it's Walter's show. Huge 6 Metra tiger shark caught off 7 Mile Beach in Lennox Head, one of Australia's most popular surfing spots. 2 photographers of the dead tiger shark, which is reportedly 6 meters, so it is meters, I'm sorry, meters long, has started to circulate on Facebook. George Brooks said the massive apex predator was hauled out of the water of 7 Mile Beach in Lennox Head. Reports have emerged that the shark's enormous body had been handed over to the authorities, with the CSIRO. However, a spokesperson revealed that no one from the CSIRO have accounted for the body. It is an abbreviation. I still know what the hyphen would be pronounced like. A fisherman has come forward claiming to have caught the marine predator off the Tweed coast a while ago. This thing is humongous. So anyway, I'm going to go back. I just had to kind of do a sidetrack, and I really got to end this show. Yeah, this lady at work, by the way, she just came off like really with a extremely bad attitude, because I had a t-shirt on tonight, by the way, was from the Marilyn Manson concert, and she just gave me the most repulsive look. She even gets like offended by me saying, oh, I like Rush Limbaugh. Oh, I hate him. And it's like, no offense, you have no room to speak. You act like you're a fucking prude, no offense. And you have a reputation throughout Plant Site for sleeping with a guy where you got caught with your pants down. So, you know what? You don't have any room to speak at all. I mean, I could basically come in with a fuck you shirt on, and it still wouldn't be as offensive as what you got caught doing, lady. And I think she actually must have got remarried or something, because her last name had changed from when the first time I met her. So I think this whole shenanigans that happened years ago actually ended up on her getting divorced. So, hey, you know what? When you give kind of looks or give some type of analogy on somebody, make sure that you don't make sure you're not calling the kettle black, so to speak, because that's actually what she is doing. So anyway, she also likes to go on these jogging sprees. And that's another thing that's kind of irritating with her, because, yeah, she'll go on these jogging sprees, and she'll take guys with her. And I'm just making a guess. I think these things, when she does that, there's a little bit more involved than her taking a guy out to go jogging. And I'll just go a wink, wink. Because apparently me and my friend basically said, yeah, when a woman kind of, or a woman, when somebody is known for having an affair with their spouse, do you really think that they may not do it again? Well, I hate to tell you, yeah, usually it's something that they may do again. Wow, she looks hot. I got distracted again, but I'll tell you in a minute. But yeah, bottom line is, I don't think this is going to be the last, or was the last time that she would fool around with somebody that is not her husband or even her new husband. So that's what I just basically want to say. And the other thing is, this lady, no offense, God, I'm going to make so many frenemies. You're a big fucking hypocrite. No offense. If you like to point fingers at me or make accusations about me, I would probably try to back them up some other way besides that I am like better than you are, because that's not the case. No offense. So anyway, what I got distracted by this time was an article on iHorror.com. It's been everywhere, actually, and I actually finally got a video of her, because I used to have, and after seeing her now, I still have a Love Jones for Winona Ryder. I really love her. Like, I had the hots for her back in the day. But she's actually doing a Beetlejuice 2. I don't know where that came from, because they're all like much older now, but yeah, it's on iHorror.com, the one I'm looking at, and it says Winona Ryder further confirms Beetlejuice 2. Linda Deads will return, I guess, her character. Well, I'm going to take a swallow. That's what I started doing. It says it was pretty much already confirmed earlier this year that Tim Burton will soon be stepping behind the camera to do Beetlejuice 2. I'm sorry, I got ice in my mouth. To do Beetlejuice 2. A direct sequel from the 1988 classic that will see Michael Keaton reprising his most beloved role. But we just love to hear that it's still moving forward, and so read on for the latest. So a little bit more. She looks like incredible. I can't believe how hot Winona Ryder looks. She really aged very well. Like, she's like super hot. And that's besides the fact that I just adore Winona Ryder. That's besides the fact. Trust me, because I did have a Love Jones. I forgot about her for years. I put her aside and went to Patty Mullen. So that's how far I went. Sorry, I just keep on getting distracted. I got to end this show because it's way after my, I should be in bed by now. I should have been in bed like 3 hours ago. I just posted on my Facebook page, Chiller TV. Check out the schedule for the next month's worth of Throwback Thursday movies, including Bride of Reanimator and Thursday's offering Voodoo. That's on Throwback Thursday. Anyway, yeah. Oh, another guy's birthday. Sorry. Yes, I'm thinking out loudly. I realized that. So, guy named Rob. Not Rob I know. So anyway, I got to go back because there was a couple articles. I did put up a bunch of crap as I drink on my Facebook page. But I want to get to the ones that were most interesting. Besides, I did some comparison contrast on the mid-2010, which I just bought used, to the mid-2012 Mac Pro, and then I did an article, it's on my Facebook page, comparing the Mac 2013 versus the Mac Pro 2012. Well, to give you just a little heads up, the 2010 and 2012, there is really no difference at all. The difference between the 2012 and the 2013 Macs are a big difference because they physically changed it completely. As I take another swallow of my soda, which is gone. Yeah, I remember I actually scared Sean Cunningham, who's going to be solely responsible for the Friday the 13th TV series, and I kind of like cornered him. It was like a year ago now, I guess. Maybe it was less than that. But I found an article in the Bloody Disgusting, and it says CW actively developing Friday the 13th series, confirming reports from the past this past March, the CW is heading to Crystal Lake. So you can read the rest. I'm not good because it's so late, but it's on Bloody Disgusting, by the way. There was something about because I saw the first one with my friend Matt. But it was on Beneath the Underground. It's an actual web page on Facebook. Please check it out because I have a lot of friends on there. Arrow UK announces Necrophiliac 2 release. Necromaniac 2. I actually saw Necromaniac 1 with a friend years ago when I was still in college. We read all these really wild, goofy films, and that was one of them. Oh, this was another one that was really interesting, by the way. It was on moviepilot.com. Now, this one was actually caught my attention. Batman vs. Superman secret screening reportedly gets standing ovation. That was on the 10th that this was shown. Regardless of what side of the spectrum you fall on, it's hard to ignore the fact that fans have been waiting with bated breath to see Zack Snyder's first installment of DC Cinematic Universe, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. With fulfilled expectations after months of controversial cast and news and doubtful speculation. Now it seems at least one audience has been proven wrong. Den of Geek reports that Warner Brothers insiders who attended a secret screening of the film for the crew and studio execs all claiming that the film, which was nearly finished, was nearly a finished cut, received a standing ovation, with Ben Affleck's Batman still on the show in the audience favor during the course of the film. So that's really cool, by the way. They're actually saying, yeah, this film got, again, a standing ovation. They already have Ben Affleck, this is no joke, set up for more than a trilogy of Batman films. But they have him set up for the next 10 years of doing Batman films. So I hope he loses that weight, because he looked like he got a bit of a fat gut on him right now. So, hey, that's really cool. Hey, I seen this really interesting article, by the way, too, on the Daily Mail. And it was, this is no joke again, a two-headed cobra. Like, the thing is fitting in this guy's hand in the picture. There is a picture, by the way. Surprise, the venomous cobra has two heads which fight to move in opposite ways and even tries to swallow each other. So these twins don't apparently get along with each other too well. Snake breeder found mutant snake in farm in Yulin, South China. Cobra is alive and growing after 10 days despite not eating or drinking. Both heads have their own brain, meaning that they can move independently. Mutant snakes have been taken to Nanan Zoo in hopes it will live longer. So they don't expect it to live longer. So they're basically having, what do you call it? Sibling rival. You know, they're not getting along with each other too well. So they're afraid that they may not last too long. But so far it's been, and they haven't eaten because they kind of fight against each other. Wow, some nice pictures. I'm putting this on my Facebook page. If you want to see some really hot pictures, by the way, when I was reading that snake story, this is really worth checking out. It's on Daily Mail again. BFFs Kendall Jenner and Haley Baldwin show off lean limbs in skin-tight outfits for dinner date after getting matching tattoos. While the one's got my favorite, black spandex, and she is really filling out the curves quite nicely. And no, she's not fat. I don't mean those kind of curves, trust me. Once again, is getting extremely late, and this guy, Mark Brown, he's really cool, but he keeps on giving me pokes, so I'm keep on poking him back, and it is, like, extremely late. Oh, hey, this is pretty neat. I'm not getting any sleep tonight, though. A new website, too. I just found this one, the blood-shed.com. Petition seeks to halt indie horror Delta Playa. Campaign says film is too close to real life. What happens in Isla Vista, California on the 23rd, 2014 was a tragedy. Now a group of individuals profoundly affected on the date have launched a petition to halt a film that they claim seeks to exploit even events that took place in the beachside community surrounding U.S. Santa Barbara. So you can read that one. I have no clue what it's about. It has a really freaky picture on there. And once again, it's on the website called theblood-shed.com. So that one I just actually posted not too long ago. I got my friend who made the film Agony. Once again, he's promoting his film again, so please check that out. Beneath the Underground, T-shirt color. Okay, so he's selling T-shirts, so very cool. It's my friend Ryan, so just want to let you know. It's extremely late, too, so I got to head off. Oh, this was a very disturbing story for people who like dogs and pets. The Dreamin' Demon, body of a man's missing dog found with note that read, "We beat it to death." LOL, the Dreamin' Demon, it was their website again. These young kids, I think they were 13-year-old kids, beat this poor dog, Pooch, to death, and then put the dead body on the guy's porch. It was in Pines, Florida. Police would like the information regarding the person or persons who beat a dog to death, then placed the body on the owner's doorstep with a note that read, "We beat the dog to death, LOL. Ronald, can't say his last name, said he last saw his 13-year-old." Okay, so I thought the kids were 13, but the dog was actually 13 years old. So that was an old pooch. Didn't look that old. So, just trying to check, because I thought there were some other things I really wanted to mention. Most haunted. Oh, here it is. Here's the one I wanted to get. I'll leave it with that. There's a BuzzFeed.com. This is not the one. If you get spooked out, you probably don't want to check it out unless it's just a hoax. The most haunted places in America. Prepare for the creepy crawlies. And it's got a video. I don't know how long it is. It doesn't tell you. So you can check that out. The last story for tonight, because it's really early in the morning. I got to go to bed and get up early because I got a call about how to pay for this computer I just bought myself. Daily Mail. Fight at Chinese karaoke bar. Leaves singer with 10-inch microphone shoved so far into his rear, doctors had to cut open his abdominal to remove it. That's a pretty nasty fight. Man arrived in the hospital in Guangzhou, South China on August 8th. Already had unknown cylindrical. Okay, I give up. I can't pronounce that word. Object lodged into his colon for 27 hours. Doctors operated 2 hours to remove the item, but didn't reveal what it was. But basically what it was a microphone. The Chinese man recently found himself having a 10-inch long cylinder, I'll just say, object stuck into his rectum and had to go through a 2-hour operation to have it removed. The doctors in the hospital in Guangzhou, South China, were surprised to see the microphone-shaped item lodged into the man's colon after an X-ray reported on People's Daily Mail. And there's some pictures. Yeah, there's like 2. And there's a picture of the X-ray. The patient refused to explain how the object got there, but the media reports suggested the man had been involved in a fight at a karaoke bar when the object was inserted into his body. The middle-aged man, named only by his surname, surname. Well, basically, it's like they're not going to give his real name. K. Had no visible injuries when he arrived at the first affiliated hospital in Guangzhou University of China of Medicine on August 8th. However, he had a strange and pained expression on his face and pointed at his rear to the staff. Surgeons initially tried to extract the object from the man's anus, but found it was lodged in so deeply that they had to operate to get it out. That's the bottom line. I kind of paraphrased it. I paraphrased it to begin with. So anyway, yes, I hope I tortured everybody enough tonight. I'm going to end with that story. Everyone, hope you enjoy my show. I'm sorry about the long beginning, but yeah, I was, God, I don't have the word visible, so let me see if I can find it on my cell phone real quick, because I always forget it. Is why I used that beginning. And by the way, it was from Silence of the Lambs. If you haven't gathered that, maybe you're not like me, who has seen that film a couple of times. Oh, Covet. So that was the theme of my thing tonight, was Covet, and that was from Silence of the Lambs. And basically, Hannibal Lecter basically says that men are, people covet what they see on a daily basis. Now, again, I am paraphrasing, but they covet what they see on a regular basis. In my case, would be this girl at work who wears spandex all the time that she's not supposed to, because it's extremely inappropriate way she wears it. Anyway, I'm plugging my phone back in. So basically, you can say I covet this woman, basically meaning that I just basically make her the center of object of my attention, so to speak. So everyone, have a good night. Hopefully I did a good job of the show, and I will be signing off for now. Have a good one.